Hello guys and welcome back to TNT Madness. Today I'm going back to my roots where I did crazy, just massive cannons, and this one is no exception. It is a 360 degree TNT cannon, so what it does is it fires an absolute ton of TNT out of the dispensers on the very edge, and then a bunch of propellant gets fired out from the middle, and then that fires all the TNT out in a massive ring, and then it just blows up simultaneously and looks absolutely awesome. So I'll be looking at that in a sec. Also, one thing I've got set up is my mic. I've got my pop filter and my scissor arm now, so if it sounds alright, tell me in the comments below. I don't really know if it sounds that great because I can't really tell that big of a difference, but I'm sure all your headphones users will know. So if you have any feedback, please tell me in the comments below. And also, I've turned on anti-aliasing ×8. If you don't know what that is, it doesn't really matter, but this, in my opinion, it makes it look slightly better, but if you guys don't like it, then that's fine. But anyway, back to this. This cannon is absolutely amazing, and we should probably have a look at it, and it really can do a lot. It does absolutely nothing practical in terms of just playing it in on a faction server, but if you're playing this with your friends, or I don't know, if there are massive walls around you that you need to destroy, and you need to destroy them all at once, then maybe you could use this, but this is more just for the looks and to show people how awesome you are with your cannoning skills. So anyway, let's take a look at this thing in action. So now on to firing it. So if we come over here and press the button, a ton of TNT will get dispensed on the side, and as you can see, it gets dispensed all around the edge here and fires out in a massive ring. It's not quite a perfect ring because most of the TNT is cluttered in one spot in each direction, but it fires all over the place. And if we take a look at that again, I don't know if the TNT renders far enough because it fires quite far, and as you can see, it fires everywhere. Now it just fires over here, but it does fire everywhere, and if you want this to be a much tighter ring, you can just use less dispensers, and it'll probably look a lot cleaner too. But as you can see, it fires an absolute ton of TNT. There'll be at least 300 TNT being fired per shot, so be aware if you are building this, you'll be going for a lot of resources. But it looks really, really cool, especially if someone can handle seeing all of it. So this thing is really awesome, and as you can see, it works really well. So let's actually take a look at the redstone and just how it works. So the first thing we have here is our button, and this may just be a button, but it's very important because what we have is we've got 2 lines of redstone, and the first thing that happens is all these dispensers activate simultaneously. So these activate once, drop down into this water, and then the ones that land on the very edge here will just stay at the very edge. Of course, they won't go past this pressure plate because it is too high. It's 0.1 blocks high for them, and it won't activate it either, so it won't go over the top, and the fences prevent it from going as well. So these are here just to stop all that, and the reason they are here is so there's space so it can fire off the TNT off the side. And the second place that this goes is why the button's important, is it goes through this line of repeaters here. These are set to 1 tick. You can increase this if you want the distance of TNT to be longer, or if you just want them to explode later. And this, the reason that it's wooden is because it's a 15 tick delay instead of 10, so it allows this to flicker more because it's a 1 tick comparator clock, which means every tick these dispensers will activate, so they'll activate 15 times. That doesn't translate actually right in game, it's more like 10, but that's still 10 TNT per dispenser, and there's like 30 dispensers here, so it works really well. And then what happens here is all this TNT fires off into these center bits here, and the reason I have them full of water was actually because originally I was going to make a chaos cannon, but I couldn't figure out completely why, and I'm going to be trying to figure out why soon. But the main reason is this: if something goes wrong and the TNT blows up in here, it won't blow up anything, they'll just stick up there, and these signs are just here mostly for aesthetics because you need something to block the water, and you don't really want to have a whole block, or else you cannot use the TNT to fire along here because it's only a half block because of these slabs. So this will fire off all the TNT, and then these cobblestone walls are holding them up half a block, so that way they do the same thing as a slab, but since this is a 1.8, it'll be slightly higher. If you're building this in 1.7, it won't really matter. You can use slabs if you really want to, but I just like to future-proof myself and having all the versions possible. And then what will happen after everything's fired is the TNT in the middle here will fire, and then this will get pushed way out here, and then the first TNT will explode, and since they are fired in clumps, that first initial ignition will blow up the rest. So if you are trying to destroy a wall or something, it will make a massive dent in it, and if it's a really thick wall, it still will, and that's really good if you have a massive wall around you for some apparent reason. So that's how this thing works, and it's really cool, and I don't really know if I should do a tutorial, but I'm going to be doing one anyway. But for the people that don't want to follow along with the tutorial and just want to have a look at this thing, there will be a world download in the description on the first link. So if you want to check that out, that's now. But anyway, let's get on with the tutorial. Now on to the tutorial. So what you're going to need is you're going to need an 11 by 11 area, but this glass bit here and around the edges represents where there are no blocks at all. So if you need the extra space for some reason, then that's there, and this white glass just represents the outer box where this glass shell is placed, or at least the very edge of it. So that's that, and this iron is where we're going to be placing everything else. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some building blocks. I'd recommend that you use something like glass so you can see through the edges of where the water is, and it just adds to the coolness. And if you're going to actually be building this, then you're probably building it for that reason. So you don't have to, you can build it completely out of building blocks and slabs, but I'm just recommending it. You're going to need one slab, exactly one slab, 50 redstone, 4 repeaters, comparator, 44 dispensers, some TNT, some water. You're going to need a lot of water, and some 12 pressure plates, 12 fence, and 12 cobblestone wall. Of course, you can just use normal fence, but I prefer using different types of fences for the outside as it differentiates them. You don't have to, but of course it just makes it look slightly better. So we're going to be working from the bottom up, and the first thing we need to do is place cobblestone walls or your fence on the very outside here, and these edges on the side, because where all the TNT is going to be dropping off. And then we want to raise up one block in the middle here, in this free part here, and then we're going to raise this out on the outside too. You do not have to place blocks, but this gives a better visual representation. And then after that, we're going to be placing our fences on the very outside of here, and then we are going to be placing our blocks in the middle. It can be glass, it can be anything you want. Then after that, we are going to be placing our fences along the side here, and then we are going to be placing our water in the middle. So after we get to go, so now we just need to grab our water and stick it in the middle. You only need one source block, and it just needs to flow out to the very edges like so. So the next thing you're going to be doing is building the middle bit. So you want to place some temporary blocks on the side here, just because we're going to be placing dispensers on the top of it. And now that you've done that, you want to place a 2 by 3 area of dispensers on each edge, and this is going to be your main propellant, and make sure they are all facing the middle. If they're not facing the middle, then of course they will blow up somewhere else, and that will not be good. The next thing you want to do is you just want to place blocks on the very edges along the side here, because we're going to be putting redstone on the very top here. And after we have done this, we can now make a giant ring of redstone, like so. And this will power all your dispensers, because this redstone will power this block, which will then in turn power all the blocks around it, including the bottom dispenser. So we're going to be keeping these temporary blocks for now, but we're going to be placing blocks on the very edge here, because we're going to be placing dispensers on the outside here. So what you want to do is place dispensers on the side like here, and then on these very edge ones here, you want to be placing them so they face the very outside. And these are going to be the dispensers that are going to be firing on the very outer edge. And you just want to continue doing this all the way around until you have completed a full circle. And then after this, we are then going to be again placing redstone on top of it. So it should look something like this, and then you just want to go around placing redstone on every dispenser. You want to make sure that redstone is on top of all these, and don't worry, the redstone on the very edge here won't power these dispensers because it's curving, so there's no way it can interact with that. So now that we've done that, we can start placing down our blocks, or cover blocks as I like to call them, to stop this. To stop them from going out of proportion. You do not have to place water, but you will need cover blocks, because or else the TNT will then go too far outwards, and then it will not make a perfect ring or even a moderately ideal ring. So you just want to place it a bit like I am now, and you just want to make it so it covers each of the blocks but doesn't cover the actual block in front of the dispenser. So after you've done this, you can cover the block above, but I'm not going to be actually filling this with water, as I do not find it necessary. So now we are nearly done. So I accidentally forgot the button, but you're going to need a wooden button. So anyway, what you want to do now is pick one edge, it doesn't really matter, and you want to go on the far end block here and place a block here. Then you want to place the button on the edge and put redstone on top. Now you want to get a block here and get a line of blocks that goes all the way out to here, followed by one more that goes along here. So what this will do is, after you've done this, you want to place one block that is here, another one here, and then another block that goes up here. So this is where your slab comes in. So what you want to do is you want to go down to the very bottom here and place a block. So your slab is not actually going down here, it is going along here. And what we want to do is we're going to be placing a comparator here on right click it so it's in subtraction mode, and what's going to happen is this will power this block and then we'll just go up here. You do not need, this is a slab because there's actually going to be no redstone feeding down, but it's actually all going to be feeding up. So now what you want to do is get your 4 repeaters, put them back here, and then all you want to do is go along like so. I just realized I made this one block too far forward, unfortunately. So all you want to do is bring this back by 1 block. If you want to have that extra block that goes out, that is completely fine, but as you can see, what we are going to do now is connect it up to this block. I did not mean to destroy that block either. And as you can see, now we've got everything connected up. So all you have to do now is fill up each of your dispensers with TNT and you are good to go. But if you want to do the rest, it is very simple. What we have to do is cover up the top glass here, make an underlying slab thing underneath here, put signs on top of those slabs, so a sign will be here and then water in between there. And that will get your thing finished. Very, very simple, and a very, very neat machine. And also, if you want more firepower, you can add more dispensers on top. If you want less, just take this down to 1. So, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, a like is very much appreciated, as it shows that you enjoy these and want me to do more of them. And if you want to see more videos like this, then hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified. I do 3 videos a week, faction related, TNT Cannon related, anything really that has to do with TNT and Minecraft. So anyway, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and goodbye from TNT Madness.